If you're not a fan of writing code or just want to move faster, AWS Glue's Visual ETL tool is a great option. It gives you a drag and drop interface to build your entire ETL workflow without writing a single line of code. Hi, I'm Professor Reza's AI avatar. And in this video, we're going to walk through setting up an ETL job from scratch visually. We'll cover how to choose your source, configure job details like worker type and script path, preview your data, and add a transformation using the built-in nodes. By the end of this video, you'll have a fully configured ETL job ready to run. Alright, now that we have our database created, we can just go into Visual ETL. You can set up your ETL job by writing a script. But in this tutorial, I want to show you how to do it visually. Click on Visual ETL and go to Create Job from a blank graph. Now, first we have to choose a source. Our source is going to be our data catalog. Before we do anything here, let's actually just go and change the title of our job and change it to something like Processed Customers.job. Then, let's go to Job Details and select the IAM role that we created before. Under Glue version, we can choose the Glue version we're going to use. And under Language, we can choose the language we're going to use, Python 3 or Scala. Then we have the worker type. G1X is okay for our work, but you can see that there are more advanced versions also available. And for the requested number of workers, we can scale this down to 1 or 2. We don't really need more than 2 because the sample data is pretty small. Down here, we can go into Advanced Properties. For the script path, we can click on Browse, click on our S3 bucket, select a script location, and click Choose. If we didn't do this, it would make its own bucket. For example, under Spark UI Logs path, as you can see, it's not using our bucket. It's using some random bucket. We don't want that. We want everything to be in our bucket. So let's define a location for the log files as well. We picked the same S3 bucket and we're choosing a temp directory to put the logs in. We select the same temp directory as our temporary path as well. Some of these paths aren't created right now, but they will be automatically created when we run our ETL job. Okay, now we can go back to the Visual tab and we can click on our AWS Glue data catalog. And here we can see that we can choose a database. So let's choose our raw data database. And we can choose a table. We want customers. And down here we can see that the data preview is loaded and we can check the table keys and their data type under the Output Schema tab. So we now have a preview of our data, and this is what we're going to be transforming. We'll apply the transformations we talked about earlier, and then save the final result into a table. Now let's click on Add Nodes and go to Transforms. We want to add a timestamp, so we search for @current_timestamp. Click on it. Our goal is to partition based on timestamps. This is why we are adding the timestamp. For timestamp column, let's name it Process Timestamp. So as you might remember from when we talked about ETL jobs, we start with the source. In this case, we're pulling data from the Glue data catalog, which points to our data stored in an S3 bucket. We take that data, apply some transformations, like adding a current timestamp, and now it's time to save the transformed data somewhere. Click on Add Nodes and go to Targets. And our target is going to be an S3 bucket. So we can click on this. Once we click on it, we need to pick the format. Let's select Parquet. For compression type, let's pick Snappy. And we also need to choose our S3 target location, which is where we want the ETL job to create a table. Let's click on Browse S3 and go into our bucket and choose Processed Data. That's it. Let's scroll down. Now it's time to add a partition key. So go ahead and click on it. We want a partition on our processed timestamp. So we're going to be using that as our partition key. And our ETL job is all set up. Make sure to click on Save and don't worry about running it yet. We'll do it in the next video. Nice. You've now seen how to visually create an ETL job in AWS Glue, from setting up job details and choosing your source, to applying a transformation and saving the result in a partitioned format. In the next video, we'll run this job and walk through how to view the results directly in the AWS console.